Thanks for coming back and giving us some more insight in terms of the construction market here in the south. I know you do things nationally. We talked in the last segments about how you were coping with COVID and how the business is evolving post-COVID. And one of the things that came out of that segment was the sort of innovation that you've put in, things like the device to lift heavy doors that was a two-man job to allow it to be a one-man job and things like that, which is, again, it really amazing that, local organisations are just getting straight to the problem and doing these sort of things. Let's talk a bit about some of the other innovative things and actually also where you think things are going in the future in terms of your market and construction in general.
Thanks, Steve. One of the things that we're really excited about at Fider Experts is we've partnered with one of our ironmongery suppliers, and there's basically there's an anti-microbial additive that the manufacturer at manufacturing stage can add into anything that you push or pull on a door. So
wow.
Pull handle, lever handle, push plate, and it's got proven research. It kills 99% of bacteria. It doesn't kill viruses. You've got to be very careful. We don't talk about COVID because I don't think anyone knows what COVID is actually.
No,
but
I agree.
It kills bacteria. So there's lots of research been written on it. So we've partnered with an ironmongery supplier. So what we are saying now to our clients, so we work with care homes, schools, hospitals, people that own office blocks. So we think that bar none, everything going forward now, any piece of ironmongery that you push or pull on a door should be coated in this antimicrobial additive because it kills bacteria and it lasts for the lifetime of the ironmongery. So
wow,
if you've got
it's there for good.
It's there for good. So not only can you add it at the manufacturing stage, but if you've got a bespoke piece of ironmongery that you want to keep, we can take that off, take it away, shot blast it, and coat it in this additive.
Wow.
This antimicrobial additive. So we're sort of, that's the way it's going to go forward in terms of the ironmongery. And if we decompose a fire door, the largest cost is the door and frame. Then you've got the labour and the fire stopping, and then the ironmongery in terms of the cost. So a small increase in the price of the ironmongery doesn't overly affect the price of the door for the added value and the benefit you get of adding this antimicrobial.
And let's face it. As you say, we're not making any claims about COVID because it's something that is just not known. But actually, if you think about what the health service and what the government and governments around the world are most concerned about is if you had an increase in COVID, so there's a talk about a second wave and COVID morphing itself into COVID 20 or 21 or I think we're living in a world now where we face those challenges.
Yes.
It doesn't go away. Pandora's box has been opened. Trying to mitigate any of the other bacterial problems that you face, so Norvovirus, anything like that, that decimates the health service during winter, which is when they suggest that things like COVID, could be more prevalent in terms of activity. That's just got to be a winner, hasn't it?
It has, and like I say, for the increasing cost of the ironmongery in terms of the price of a door set, it's okay. There is an increase in cost, but for what you're getting in return for that. But we can also add it into paint, so paint you put on a door or paint you put on walls. But I'm not an expert in the product itself. But for anyone's business, you can perhaps have it on a keyboard or on a mouse, or it can go into any industry, any product. So
that's quite deep. That's really clever. What's really amazing again is that local business. You're not a PLC.
No, we're just small
you're just ploughing your furrow here in the south, doing the right thing. It's just so great to have people like you on talking about how Vissensa has got a strapline which says forward thinking, and it's absolutely fantastic to talk and listen to people who, how did you make that step? Clearly you were putting ironmongery onto doors. That's just that's just a great story.
Just coming across our supply chain and having conversations with them, and then I got introduced to it, and I just thought, wow, this has got so much potential here. So we basically just researched into it, and we developed this initiative in partnership with our ironmongery supplier. And because we work very closely with the door manufacturers that we purchase doors from, we're sort of pushing it their way as well and say they need to get involved in this. Then their doors need to be coated in this. Their ironmongery need to be coated in it.
Yeah.
Not just the stuff that we're trying to put on the doors that we maintain and
Train
replace.
Handles,
You name it, everything.
Wow. I mean, honestly, that's really deep.
Yeah, it's not just fire doors.
Trolley, supermarket trolleys.
Yeah,
I mean, sorry, my brain's going mad now.
But you can relate to your business.
Absolutely.
That's just a small part of the ironmongery part. But in terms of where I see the future, fire doors they're a physical object. I can't turn that into something that we do remotely. We have to physically be on site to work on it. So we're still going to have a physical presence. We're still going to be on site. We've changed the business in terms of we're working from home. We do a lot of Zoom meetings, but there's no denying the fact that the lads or the technicians are on site, and they need to be on site. So in terms of the way it's changed for us, nothing's really changed other than we maintain social distancing. We can't possibly change it.
Do you think, in terms of innovation, what do you see coming down the pike in terms of materials? You talked about the weight of a fire door is dependent on how much fire resistance you get. You can sort of see that. What's the industry thinking about, and is there materials that they are working on which make them smaller, make them less weighty?
I think one of the things we're heading towards, which so if we just jump back to Grenfell, in the industry there's something called global assessment, which basically means you take a product and another product which are independently tested for a fire rating. What they're not tested is when they're tested together and how they react. So this is one of the problems, my understanding of the cladding at Grenfell, which had two products that independently were tested for fire rating. When you put them together, they react in very different ways, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
With fire doors, there's something called global assessment, and there's something called primary assessment. Global assessment is where you have a fire door on a frame, or a fire blank, which is the actual door core. That gets matched together with the frame. Then the ironmongery is picked from another supplier, and they're independently tested, but when you put them together, it's certificated under a global assessment. That's a fire door assembly. A fire door set is something that's tested under a primary assessment, which basically is door frame, the handle, the hinges, anything that's part of that component part is tested together and basically set on fire.
Yeah.
And it's assessed how it reacts. So if you deviate away from any one of those component parts, you invalidate the certificate.
You break
the chain.
Yeah.
So that's a primary assessed product. So we have a couple of door manufacturers that we work with that we're preferred maintainers and installers for. We have primary assessed products. So that's only this particular component part. If you deviate away from that, it's uncertificated. So
that sounds sensible.
It sounds sensible. Yeah. The trouble is there's lots of different component parts to a fire door. There's 1,000 different types of locks, for example. Yeah. You can't possibly, and our fire test probably takes 6 months to get booked in and £10,000. You can't, if you're a fire door manufacturer, you can't possibly have 10,000 tests for different types of locks. You've got to say, right, okay, we're going to test, and as long as this lock has got these particular attributes and a CE mark, it should work with this door set. Yeah. But we're seeing an emphasis away from globally assessed fire door solutions to primary assessed. I think that's where we're moving towards. And
material within the doors and stuff like that? Do you think that there's something that's
perhaps
ceramics? Does that work? I don't know. It's just me.
What we have seen is a move away from composite fire doors, because they've unfortunately lots of local authority homes have composite fire doors, and they've been proven to last. They're supposed to last for 30 minutes, and some of them fail within less than 15 minutes. So predominantly timber, steel. They're the two real main sort of fire products that fire doors are made from. I don't see any change from that moving forward. It's just how they're tested and manufactured as fire door sets rather than fire door assemblies.
Okay, yeah, that's really interesting. And then in terms of legislation and stuff around that, do you see anything coming down the pike that is becoming, is going to strengthen that?
Yeah, there's the new fire regulations are coming out. They've been drafted at the moment. I think they're put in front of Parliament, and they're
That
reviewing
presumably is a catalyst for that was Grenfell.
basically, yeah, a lot of that was to do with Dame Judith Hattett's recommendations.
Yep.
So part of that, we touched on it earlier, is basically accountability, and also the fact that you need to be an accredited contractor to maintain, install or replace fire doors. That has to be an absolute prerequisite.
Yeah, that seems to be a big seed change in what happened before, which again seems to be a sensible.
Yeah, and we're still getting inquiries sort of every day saying, not every day, but every other day saying, oh, we've had some doors installed, not accredited, can you come and certificate? And it's like we talked to earlier, we can't certificate someone else's work.
Yeah.
But if we now move forwards where prior to you installing the doors, the specification says they have to be installed by a third-party accredited contractor. You know,
is that building control type stuff? I mean, I'm getting
yes, building control will sign it off at the end of the day, and they will ask for certificates. So if you haven't got certificates, you haven't installed it correctly. What do you do?
Yeah, you need to go and rework that.
Rework it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that makes complete sense. Cool. Look, Si, this has been an absolute pleasure to have you here talking about this stuff. Yeah, it's given us an insight into some of the stuff that, hey, look, you know, we open doors every day of the week. Okay. Yeah. Never, you know, it says keep it shut, okay, yes, but right. The people behind those things, it's always great to showcase that. So thanks ever so much for coming to Malwood.
You're welcome, Steve. Thank you for inviting me. I really enjoyed it.
Pleasure.
Thank you.